What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? I hope you're all looking forward to the weekend. Mine begins today, and I don't know about you, I don't know if you ladies and gents work or study or whatever it is you do, but for me to unwind, I need to just relax, play a game on my Nintendo Switch, and I love sharing my thoughts with you guys and girls out there especially. So I've got a review of Furwind, which is a little pixel platformer. Let's get into it, check it out, and see if it's worth your time and investment. Furwind's story is nothing special. Here you need to take out evil, which has reappeared after a period of time. It's here to move you from point to point, that's the reality. Now in terms of gameplay, it's a simple pixel platformer, and for the price it's not that bad, but it's not great either. Overall we have 15 levels spread over 3 areas, and here you have a range of moves for your character, from your double jump to a forward moving dash to get you to areas otherwise inaccessible. It's not one large map like say on a Metroidvania, but each of the levels does have you exploring, and it's rather simple in most respects. Search for the couple of talisman parts guarded by those mini bosses, and then find the door to move onto the next level when you go through the portal. In between each level there are some mini games of sorts where you need to defeat a number of enemies on screen to make that all important rescue. These are really simplistic areas with no complexity to them at all. I thought a lot more could have been done to make these parts of the game engaging. Things change up with levels though. There's some that are pitch black where you need a bunch of fireflies which light up the area in front of you. They only last 15 to 20 seconds and you're going to need to find more. It can be frustrating going down the wrong path on these levels, and for those of you that know me, I like my hard games. I'm certainly not going to moan about tough games, but what I don't like is cheap deaths. There is a difference, and there are a few too many of those in this game, from hitting a box with a monster appearing right in front of you to falling off ledges because the jump button appears to have input lag at times. The developers have tried to keep things fresh and interesting by implementing differing level types, which is commendable, from levels where you're being chased and those little mini rescue levels from your basic platforming levels. There's even some variety with some puzzles thrown in for good measure. Now this game will take you around 8 hours to complete. For me personally, after about 2 hours I was getting rather frustrated with the controls and some of the level design. As I said before, it's not the worst game you'll ever play, but I think the quality here really reflects in its price point, which is rather a shame. Defeating enemies is nice and simple. You swipe your tail, but this attack also has some issues. There is a meter, too many swipes and you can't attack till it refills. This attack also sometimes presents another problem. Face the wrong way after a jump, for example, which you do a lot of in this game, and your tail will sort of swing in the opposite direction, leading to frustrating misses and enemies getting the better of you. Also, jumping and attacking at the same time never feels precise and it feels clunky. Again, this leads to some mad rages. The boss fights for me weren't that engaging enough. Well, let's say after playing games like Dead Cells, Hollow Knight, even the recent Bloodstained, it's easy to see where games like this just fall that little bit short. Of course it's reflected in the price point, I know. In fact, check out our video of Mario Maker. Maybe you can make some of your own great platforming levels. That really is a great game. Now there are a number of save points in each level. There's no autosave here. Using gems will allow you to save. Now if you die between save points, it can be quite a task to sort of go over what you've just done. The thing is, if you use your gems for a save point, you probably end up short when you want to buy that ability upgrade. So it's a little bit of a risk versus reward scenario, but for me, I just saved them when I came across a save point and use those gems, because honestly I didn't want to replay parts that I had already played. In terms of music, the soundtracks and the FX here, they're okay, they're pretty decent, there's nothing spectacular. I was rather disappointed, to be honest, in this aspect of the game, especially when the artwork is rather good, and I've heard so many great soundtracks on cheap games like this before. Visuals and performance though, credit where credit's due, the pixel art here is lovely. There wasn't any performance issues or crashes that I came across. I really enjoyed the art style of the levels, lighting and the characters, and I thought the small indie team did a commendable job here. And while there are pixel art games out there and there's plenty to choose from, this one for the money is nicely designed. In terms of value, you're looking at around £8.09, more in dollars for our friends in the US. Not exactly going to break the bank, and while there are quite a few frustrations, there is a little bit of value to be had if you're looking for about 8 hours of pixel platforming, although, you know, it is difficult and some of the parts can be frustrating due to no fault of your own. For me, once it was complete though, I was done with it. There wasn't anything to sort of hook me or draw me in for, you know, to go back and collect collectibles, for example. I was sort of done with it and completed it and moved on to the next game. My verdict then, Furwind has a nice art style going for it, I will give it that, and there are, of course, some frustrations with the game that I've explained. It's certainly worth a punt if you're in between games, and those of you with long backlogs may want to wait for the inevitable sale, because at the moment the Switch is awash with great platformers, and unfortunately for this little fox, it hasn't quite got that special something to keep players playing. For me, a 6 out of 10, still respectable. If you enjoyed this review and you're a new watcher here, then make sure you hit that subscribe button and that bell notification so we can notify you when our next review goes live. We also do gameplay videos and some features from time to time, and Jordan, James and myself do get involved in some reviews together as well. So it's always interesting being part of the Switch Watch crew. We'd love to have you aboard. I want to thank all of our existing subscribers for supporting us. My name's Juan Romero from Switch Watch. Thanks for staying around for this full review, and I'll see you again very shortly on the next one. Take care.